From the moment the first colonists set foot on North American shores, a new world began to take shape. 13 colonies grew along the Atlantic coast, built by settlers seeking land, faith, and fortune under the distant rule of the British Crown. For generations, these colonies prospered. But by the 1760s, a storm was brewing. Britain, deep in debt from years of war, turned to the colonies for money. New taxes arrived one after another: the Stamp Act, the Townshend Acts, duties on paper, glass, and tea. The colonists were furious. They had no representatives in the British Parliament, yet they were forced to pay. A powerful cry echoed through the streets: no taxation without representation. In 1773, anger boiled over in Boston Harbor. Colonists disguised as Mohawk warriors boarded British ships and dumped 340 chests of tea into the sea. The Boston Tea Party had begun, and Britain answered with harsh punishment. Tensions exploded into violence. In April of 1775, the first shots rang out at Lexington and Concord. The American Revolution had begun. Ordinary farmers and shopkeepers took up arms against the most powerful empire on earth. Then came the defining moment. On July 4th, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence. Written by Thomas Jefferson, it proclaimed that all men are created equal, endowed with the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The war raged on for years. Through brutal winters at Valley Forge and hard-fought victories, General George Washington led the fight. At last, in 1783, Britain recognized the United States as a free and independent nation. Today, every 4th of July, Americans light up the sky with fireworks. They gather with family, wave the flag, and celebrate the courage of those who dared to dream of freedom. This is Independence Day, the birthday of a nation.
Rising from the granite of the Black Hills in South Dakota, Mount Rushmore is one of America's most iconic monuments. Carved into the mountainside are the faces of 4 presidents, each standing 60 feet tall. But how did they get there? And who created them? The vision belonged to a sculptor named Gutzon Borglum. Born in Idaho in 1867, Borglum was a bold and ambitious artist who dreamed of carving something monumental into the American landscape. In 1927, at the age of 60, he began the work that would define his life. Borglum did not work alone. Alongside him was his son, Lincoln Borglum, who helped lead the project and would ultimately see it to completion. Together, they directed a crew of nearly 400 workers, most of them miners who had never carved stone before. The work was dangerous and grueling. Using dynamite, jackhammers, and hand tools, the workers removed more than 400,000 tons of rock from the mountain. Remarkably, over 14 years of construction, not a single worker lost their life. Borglum chose 4 presidents to represent the birth, growth, preservation, and development of the nation. George Washington, the father of the country, stands for its founding. Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence, represents its expansion. Theodore Roosevelt symbolizes the nation's development and industrial growth. And Abraham Lincoln stands for the preservation of the Union during the Civil War. Gutzon Borglum died in March of 1941, just months before the monument was finished. His son Lincoln completed the final work that October. What they left behind was a breathtaking tribute carved in stone, gazing out over the American frontier. Today, Mount Rushmore draws more than 2 million visitors each year. It stands not only as a portrait of 4 great leaders, but as a monument to human vision. The story of America is written in the lives of its greatest leaders. As we mark 250 years of independence, we honor 4 presidents whose visions shaped a nation. George Washington, the father of his country. He led the Continental Army through the darkest days of the Revolution, and when victory came, he could have been king. Instead, he chose to step aside, giving the young republic something rarer than power: the peaceful transfer of leadership. He became its first president and its enduring example. Thomas Jefferson, the pen of the revolution. He gave the world the words that still echo today, that all men are created equal, endowed with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As president, he doubled the size of the nation with the Louisiana Purchase and dreamed of an America stretching to the Western Sea. Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator. He held the Union together through its bloodiest trial, the Civil War. With courage and compassion, he ended the injustice of slavery and redefined what freedom truly meant. His words at Gettysburg promised a new birth of freedom, a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Theodore Roosevelt, the champion of the modern age. He fought for the common citizen against the powerful few, protected millions of acres of wilderness for future generations, and carried America onto the world stage with strength and conviction. He believed in the strenuous life and in a nation daring greatly. 4 leaders, 4 chapters in one extraordinary story. Their faces are carved in stone at Mount Rushmore, but their legacy is carved into the very idea of America. 250 years on, the republic they built endures. Happy anniversary, America. The American flag is one of the most recognized symbols on Earth. But every color, every stripe, and every star tells a story of a nation's birth and its growth. The story begins in 1777. On June 14th of that year, the Continental Congress passed the Flag Resolution, declaring that the flag of the new United States would carry 13 stripes and 13 stars. Those 13 stripes, 7 red and 6 white, represent the 13 original colonies that broke away from British rule to form a new and independent nation. The colors carry meaning too. Red stands for valor and bravery. White signifies purity and innocence. And blue, the color of the field behind the stars, represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. The stars sit on that blue field called the Union. Each star represents a state in the nation. But unlike the stripes, the number of stars has changed many times. As the young country expanded westward and new states joined the Union, a new star was added for each one. The flag grew from 13 stars to 15, then 20, and onward across the decades. The 50th and final star was added in 1960, 1 year after Hawaii became the 50th state. A 17-year-old student named Robert Heft designed that 50-star arrangement for a school project, and it became the flag we salute today. So the flag tells us who we are. 13 stripes for where the nation began, and 50 stars for the states that carry it forward. And no American celebration is complete without fireworks lighting up the sky. But their story began long before America itself. Fireworks were invented in China more than 1,000 years ago. Ancient people discovered that bamboo stalks would explode with a loud crack when thrown into a fire, believed to scare away evil spirits. Later, Chinese alchemists created gunpowder, packing it into paper tubes to make the first true fireworks. The technology spread along trade routes to the Middle East and then to Europe. In America, fireworks became linked to independence from the very first anniversary. On July 4th, 1777, Philadelphia lit up the night sky to celebrate 1 year of freedom. John Adams himself imagined the day would be marked with pomp, parades, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of the country to the other. And so it has been, ever since. Today, the flag and the fireworks stand together as the enduring symbols of America. One woven in cloth, the other written in light, both telling the same story of a free and hopeful nation.